We all know that mobility training is important, but a lot of people, including myself, tend to prioritize training strength over mobility. It doesn't seem to matter initially because I was learning all kinds of muscle ups at a very fast pace. But things started to slow down. When I learned the handstand, it took me way longer than it should because I lacked basic overhead shoulder mobility. When I attempted the press handstand, it felt absolutely impossible because of my stiff back, hip, and hamstring. A lot of people told me the back lever is easier than the front lever, so I tried it out of curiosity. But it felt impossible because of my lack of shoulder extension mobility. A lot of people wanted to see me learn the planche, so again, I tried it out of curiosity. But it felt impossible because of my wrist mobility. Therefore, I came to the very logical conclusion that I needed to start dedicating myself to training mobility if I want to progress further in calisthenics. I decided to buy the mobility training program from my favorite calisthenics YouTuber, the legendary Blue Shorts Calisthenics Movement. I also want to make it clear that this video is not sponsored. I happen to have the need for some guidance on mobility work. On top of that, I learned so much from the free videos on their YouTube channel, and I feel compelled to support them. Prior to starting the mobility training, I decided to do 5 tests to measure my mobility. First, I tested the standing toe touch to measure my forward fold mobility. I was able to get my fingertips to touch the ground. I tried to push further, but I almost got a cramp because of it. Second, I tested the archer squat side bend position to measure my side fold mobility. Since I never ever had to fold my body to the side, I was extremely stiff and could barely bend my body to the side.
Like an old man!
I know it looks like I wasn't trying, but in fact I was trying pretty hard. Same situation for the other side. Third, I tested the sitting leg raise to measure my compression mobility. This might look easy, but it's actually really hard. I could barely lift my legs off the ground, and it felt like my core muscles might cramp at any moment. Fourth, I tested the stick shoulder extension to measure my shoulder extension mobility. Since I never ever had to extend my arms backward, I was pretty stiff and could barely lift the stick up. Lastly, I tried out the easy bridge to see how mobile my entire front side was. It was doable, but it wasn't easy. The goal is eventually being able to do the back bridge. After doing the initial measurements, I started following the mobility training program from CaliMove. Besides what's being mentioned in the training program, I also want to say that it's very important to find a camera to film yourself. Not only there are a lot of techniques to memorize in order to do each exercises in the correct form, it also happens quite often that what your mind thought your body is doing is different from what your body is actually doing. Having yourself recorded in a video will help minimize these problems. After training mobility for some time, I discovered that mobility training was the perfect active rest day for me. I don't know why, but my muscles seem to recover faster from intense workouts like one-arm pull-up or weight training when the rest day was mobility training instead of completely doing nothing. I also discovered that it's quite tricky to do the back bridge. If I push mainly towards my lower body, it will be impossible to open up the chest. If I mainly push towards the ceiling, it will be easier to open up the chest, but it will be extremely difficult to straighten the arms. The force of the pushing direction has to be a mix of up towards the ceiling and horizontally towards the lower body, so that it's possible to open up the chest and at the same time straighten the arms. I trained and trained and trained. I was making progress steadily. On day 78, this happened.
Oh, I got it! This has to be it! This has to be it! This has to be it, man! Okay. Okay, let's take a look.
Therefore, on day 80, I decided to redo the 5 tests I did on day 1. First, for the standing toe touch, I was super surprised to be able to get my entire palms on the ground. This is a huge improvement that I never thought would be possible. It seems that learning the press handstand is becoming more and more possible.
Alright.
Second, for the archer squat side bend position, now I can bend a lot lower to the point that I can touch my toes. This proves again that if you are a beginner at something, all you need to do is put in the work and you will see results. And I have similar improvements on the other side as well. Third, for the sitting leg raise, I was able to lift my toes as high as to my neck. This to me is also a huge improvement. Fourth, For stick shoulder extension, now I can almost lift my arms all the way to 90 degrees. Maybe it's finally time to start seriously training for the back lever. I just need to plan it out and find an opening to make it happen, since I'm currently training for too many different things at the same time. Lastly, I have to move my camera to a better angle to show you again my back bridge. I'm very happy that I have improved my overhead shoulder mobility to the next level, and also improved my spinal mobility in order to achieve this milestone. Thanks for watching. Would increased mobility really speed up my progress in calisthenics? I hope so, and if you're interested in finding out, you should definitely subscribe for future videos. If you're interested in mobility training, you should definitely click the link in the video description below to check out the mobility training program from CaliMove. Full disclosure, the platform CaliMove uses to host their training program allows me to generate a referral link. And if you use my link to sign up for their mobility training program, I will receive a small commission. If you Google hard enough, can you possibly find every information that's in the program? It's definitely possible, but if you value your time as I do, it's definitely worth paying for distilled information that is organized by an expert. Again, make sure to click the link in the video description below. See you in the next video.